Good morning. Welcome. I'm Michael Lambert, your city librarian. On behalf of the San Francisco Public Library and the Library Commission, we are so delighted that you all could join us today for this important announcement. I'd like to acknowledge our library commissioners who are present, Commissioners Teresa Ono, Connie Wolf, Pete Wong, John Lee, and Dr. Arania Lopez. Thank you all for being here. And Madam Mayor, welcome. We are so honored that you could participate in this event. We appreciate your leadership of our city, and we are super excited about your announcement today. With that, I'll invite you to get us started. Maybe I was premature on that. So, oh, there she is. Madam Mayor, welcome.
Did we start already?
I was just welcoming you and thanking you for honoring us with your presence and your leadership. We're super excited about your announcement today. And with that, I'll invite you to get us started.
All right. Well, thank you, Michael. Really appreciate that. And good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to share some incredible news. As you may know, before I was mayor and even before I was on the Board of Supervisors, I served as the executive director of the African American Art and Culture Complex in the Western Addition. I saw how deeply important arts are and in creating a vibrant and diverse community. Believe it or not, I used to sing in a choir, I used to dance, I used to perform, but I wasn't really the best at it. However, the arts connects us to one another and it bridges the gaps between our cultures by helping us understand each other. They are how we express ourselves during our brightest and happiest moments, and sometimes some of our darkest ones. For people of all ages, arts and culture can help us navigate a world that can be confusing and strange. They can also provide opportunity not only for jobs and income, but for people who are in underserved communities to find their voices and to make sure that they are heard. That includes the role of our city's poet laureate. Since Lauren Ferlinghetti was made our first poet laureate in 1998, this prestigious honor has showcased San Francisco's finest poets from many diverse backgrounds. Their work as poet laureates has reminded us of what it means to be a San Franciscan. It reminds us of our strength and our diversity, especially during these unprecedented times. It calls our attention to our most pressing issues and inspires us to care for each other and to work to create a more equitable and just society. It inspires young people to search for their voice in a way that they may not have thought was possible before, and opens doors of opportunity for them to pursue their dreams. That is why I'm so excited today to announce our 8th Poet Laureate. Before we get to the big announcement, I would like to thank and recognize our outgoing Poet Laureate, Kim Shuck, for her incredible service to our city. Kim has represented our city beautifully through her work and has given her time over the past few years to serve our community, whether teaching at our local colleges, university, and public schools, or helping the library launch its first ever American Indian initiative. Kim, on behalf of the City and County of San Francisco, thank you for your service, and we would be honored if you close out your tenure with one last reading as Poet Laureate.
Thank you, Mayor Breed. There we are. I do have a poem. It's called San Francisco as a New Poet Laureate. Pick any street corner, any bench, any stoop, any fourth star in this city or over it. Sit quietly, you'll hear the water of time. Keys rattling, heart and innovation, Ramatush wonderings, war and colonization and patience, and the mint that only grows on the south side of that mountain right there. You'll hear the poetry of place, popsicle sticks scratching on the curb, clap songs and jump rope songs and chess moves and love curses. Every night in some back room, QR Hand reads the future and the past in autopsied words, the Babar poems, Bob Kaufman's guerrilla words shouted at unsuspecting somewhere in North Beach. The skyline mutters poems that have been and poems to come. And if you stand in the Café La Bohème's door for too long, you might hear Alfonsito yelling what we will choose to call in this moment a poem. Old wives' tales still hover faint along Valencia. You can listen to the purring of various fogs as they pad over Eureka and Noe Peaks. Wolo's paintings comment quietly on every new show in Kerouac Alley. And if your hearing is very, very good, Ambrose's dictionary runs on a loop in a certain bar on a certain bar stool, and the faint laughter from one of Sam's jokes will still grind Brett's teeth. Prayers for plague victims in more languages than you can count mumble down Grant and twine with the poems of the Unbound Feet 3. There are songs of burying and unburying to be found all over the Richmond, every corner, every bench, every headstone under the sanded ocean beach. Mary and Carol Lee and Paula talk stories in classrooms, at State, at tables in cafes that have turned to bars. John's words rattle justice through the rusting bars of Alcatraz, and the voices of those taken in Captain Jack's War have made them into their own songs too. There is an 8th poet laureate of San Francisco, and with the title comes more wealth in words than in all of the great libraries that have ever been. And I'd just like to add, you will hear a lot about honor and you will hear a lot about responsibility. There are a couple of tricky things. One of them is that people will steal your pens. I've had some pens printed up. I'm not going to say right now what they say, and I don't think that they'll prevent your pens from being stolen, but they will raise the value of their resale on eBay. And I'm going to share with you just very briefly what Dr. Jose Cuellar said to me a couple of days after I was named the 7th Poet Laureate. He said that everything you've done up until this point got you here, and none of that matters now. What will matter now is what comes next. Have a great time. Don't forget to have a great time. And you do know where my kitchen table is when you want to hide. Take care.
Thank you so much, Kim, and for that amazing poem. And thank you for representing San Francisco so well over the past few years. We look forward to seeing what comes next for you. Now, it is my great honor to announce our 8th Poet Laureate. I've had the privilege of knowing this individual for many years, as he worked and volunteered at the African American Art and Culture Complex. He has mentored many young men and women who came through our doors and taught them how to find their own voice and how to make themselves heard. His poems are just one of the many ways he fights for racial justice, equity, and human rights. He has shown our community what it means to be a successful poet as a Black man from San Francisco. We are incredibly proud of the work he has done so far, especially his commitment to inspiring Black men and boys and providing support for young people in our community. He will continue the work that our ancestors did as they fought for their own voices to be heard. I am beyond excited to see what he accomplishes as the San Francisco's 8th Poet Laureate. It is now my pleasure to introduce the next Poet Laureate for the City and County of San Francisco, Tongo Eisen-Martin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for this incredible honor. I've prepared some words that I hope I make it through. I'm already feel tears.
Well, I'm gonna let you have the floor, Tongo. It's so great to have you, and thank you for just really all the magic that you've created over the years in people's lives. And as I said earlier, when we worked together at the African American Art and Culture Complex, at the time, you remember there was a lot of challenges, especially with our boys. And we had, unfortunately, a lot of violence in the community. And just seeing you as this literary figure and inspiring these young people to look at other ways besides, being out in the streets and doing stuff that was happening then, focusing on, how music is poetry and how they can really shift their voices to tell their own stories. And you brought that to their lives, and I know they continue to carry it with them today. And so you've been an inspiration for so many years, directed at so many generations of people. And I'm so grateful that you've accepted this honor. And so now I want to turn the floor over to you so that people can know who you are. If they don't know, now they know. And we're looking forward to the work that we know you're going to do to make San Francisco proud. So the floor is yours, Tongo.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Incredibly humbled and honored. Also, a deep appreciation to the selection committee. I want to send love to my mother and brother, as I am only an extension of their love, imagination, and revolutionary commitment. Love to my two powerful sisters in the whirlwind that has nothing on us. Love to my family, both blood and lava. Love to my father and the rest of a village that is not here in a physical form. I would also like to thank Kim Shutt for being a leader of poets and a beautiful force of the people. A poet of any station is secondary to the people. A poet of any use belongs to the energy and consciousness of the people. One of art's most important incarnation is as an expression of mass resistance, but really what art teaches us with its indomitable energy, the indomitable energy of a line by Audre Lorde, the indomitable energy of a Coltrane idea is evidence that it is oppressors themselves who are in the position of resistance. Bigger than any imperialist hegemony is a hegemony of natural, cosmically reflected liberation. The power is ours, and it is our oppressors, therefore, who are just resisting us, resisting humanity, resisting us pretty well, but resisting our rights to determine our reality, resisting a coming epoch of liberation. Mass participation in art is what has always perpetually created a San Francisco futurism. San Francisco has legends, too fearless for me to count myself as one of them. But I am from this legendary collection of thousands and thousands of participants in revolutionary history and culture. And I'm proud to be one of the anonymous thousands in San Francisco who have rode these buses all night, who was raised in Marcus Bookstore, who wants justice for Mario Woods and Alex Nieto, who wants freedom for Russell Maroon Schultz. What the people here taught me is that unity is the only thing, and taught me that individualism, as it is practiced, codified, romanticized in this society, is not really about your personal adventure through life, but really at its core, unfortunately, individualism is about practicing a selective humanization. Other people are only human beings when it suits individual interests, a civilianism of sorts that is deeply connected to slavery, both what the society evolved from and tends to evolve into, a process that addicts you to power structures and alienates you or alienates us from ourselves. At no point can we find the dehumanization of other people, the deanimation of people acceptable, let alone necessary for an individual journey. So as much as I would love to assign the rest of my days to an individual adventure, that time is over. History is heightening, showing us more and more every day that we are part of a people, and a people beyond systemic prescriptions. And we need the entire palette of protected human rights and nurtured human curiosity. The madness we see today shouldn't be surprising. These apartheid nativity scenes come home to roost. The neo-Confederate position to save a capitalism in crisis. We always knew what was mixed in with the parole papers and environmental racism, with program deliverables and bourgeois pacifism. We are in a time of significant enough epochal shift, but it will be one abyss wearing off and another abyss opening its arms if we don't enter the historical process more critically. Where do we go from here? What is our revolutionary praxis? Fortunately, or conveniently, I can submit that it begins with cultural work. A cultural work that transforms the way we relate to each other, transforms the way we relate to the earth, to a way that is conducive to liberation. A poet of any use belongs to the energy and consciousness of the people. And respecting that spirit, my only aim as San Francisco Poet Laureate is to join with that energy, join with that consciousness in order to create vehicles of unity. Events, workshops, readings, publications, these are all just vehicles of unity. And I will never tire in building as many as the city can handle. So meet me at the library. And if you can't make it, I will for sure meet you wherever you are. Let me now say rest in power to Q.R. Hand Jr. and Diane DePrima. And I'll conclude with this poem titled Faceless. A tour guide through your robbery, he also is. Cigarette saying, look what I did about your silence. Ransom water and box spring gold this decade is only for accent grooming, I guess. Ransom water and box spring gold, the corner store must die. War games, I guess, all these tongues from his junk. You know, the start of mass destruction begins and ends in restaurant bathrooms that some people use and other people clean. Are you telling me there's a rag in the sky waiting for you? Yes, we've written a scene, we set a stage. You know, we should have fit in. Warehouse jobs are for communists, but now more corridor and hallway have walked into our lives. Now the whistling is less playful and the barbed wire overcrowded too, my dear. If it is not a city, it is a prison. If it has a prison, it is a prison, not a city. When a courtyard talks on behalf of military issue, all walks take place outside of the body. Dear life to your left, a medieval painting to your right, and that just really makes an impression. Crop people living in thin air, you have 5 minutes to learn how to see through this breeze. When a mask goes sideways, barbed wire becomes the floor, barbed wire becomes the roof, 40 feet into the sky becomes out of bounds. When a mask breaks in half, mind which way the eyes go. Did you know they killed the world for the sake of giving everyone the same backstory? We're watching Gary, Indiana fight itself into the sky, old pennies for wind. For that wind feeling you get before the hood goes up and over your headache, pennies that stick together, mocking all aspirations. I mean, Stuck Together Pennies was the first newspaper I ever read, along with the storefront dwelling army that always lets us down, where the Holy Spirit favors the back room. Souls in a situation that offer 100 ways to remain a loser. Souls watching a clock, hoping that eyes don't lie to sad people. What was we talking about again? The narrator asked the graveyard, at 10 minutes flat. Said the graveyard, the funeral only took 10 minutes. And they never tell that to anyone again. You just gonna pin the 90s on me? All 30 years of them? And why should I know the difference between sleep and satire? The pyramid of corner stores fell on our heads and we died right away. That building wants to climb up and jump off another building. These are downtown decisions. Somewhere on this planet, it's August 7th and we running down the rush thinking one more needs to come with me. Man, what evaporated on Earth so that we could be sent back down? Thank you all again. Much love. I want to give the whole roll call right now, but it's too many. So much love to all my family, and thank you again, Madam Mayor, and thank you, San Francisco, for better for worse. What you raised, you know.
Thank you so much, Tongo. Well, just so you know, the chat is blowing up. There's so much love and excitement for what you will bring to San Francisco. And I just want to thank you so much, and thank you for the incredible poem and your inspiration and just everything that you continue to do. And I look forward to what you will accomplish as our city's Poet Laureate. I just can't wait. It's going to be exciting, especially when we open up. And when you talk about meet me at the library, it's like that's your slogan now. So we're gonna take it to another level. That's gonna be your slogan. It's like meet me at the library, and hitting all the libraries all over San Francisco, and really inviting the people in and start, really bringing it back to some of the basics. Because with the way technology is nowadays, sometimes we get away from just picking up a book or picking out a book or looking through an index card. And I guess we don't look through index cards to find books anymore, and then sitting there and having a reading and having discussions. And so I'm looking forward to what you're going to bring and really excited about that. I really want to thank the people who nominated you. There was a really compelling letter of support that, went into all the details about your work. You have a lot of fans out there. I want to thank the selection committee, the people who served and who had to go through all of those applications, because I got to tell you, it was a hard decision. And I was so excited that so many people in San Francisco, really embrace and support poets in such an incredible way, because there were so many wonderful nominees, and I'm looking forward to you connecting with all of them as well. And really the outgoing Poet Laureate, Kim Shuck, thank you for that poem. Thank you for your commitment to San Francisco and the role that you have played over the years. Thank you to San Francisco Public Library and the commissioners who are joining us here today, and our librarian, Michael Lambert. So many amazing people. And I think that, based on your comments today, meet me at the library, that's going to be a new part of the campaign to really bring people together, to inspire, and to really, set things off on a whole nother level. Thank you, Tongo, for your work and your commitment. We're so honored that you will be San Francisco's 8th Poet Laureate. And if there's anything left to say, you're welcome to have the floor. If not, we can turn it back over to Michael Lambert.
Just want to say much love and appreciation.
Great.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. My heart is full. Hashtag meet me at the library. Congratulations, Tongo. On behalf of the San Francisco Public Library, I want to thank all of you for joining us this morning. Our Public Affairs Office is happy to help facilitate any interviews with our new Poet Laureate. Please reach out to publicaffairs@sfpl.org. Thank you all and have a great day.